There's more to Amphibiland than you know.
Eventually.
Hold on, back up. You're telling us there's a whole world of talking frogs called Amphibiland?
It's actually called Amphibia.
Ladies and gentlemen, here we are. A brand new season with brand new possibilities, and there's a new normal indeed. But is it no big deal? Oh, you bet your bug-infested drinks it is. Because despite what Anne says, this whole season is a major deal, with Anne even realizing just how much responsibility rests on her shoulders, and just how much determination it's gonna take to get all of it done. Just like how much willpower it's gonna take for me to keep going on with these analysis videos, cause boy will there be so much to gather up. Anyways, I'm pretty much just repeating myself like a tape recorder, so you all get the point now. Let's not waste any more time and just get right into the breakdown. Wait. No, Hop Pop, that's not what I meant. Coming straight from the beginning is of the planters taking note of their new surroundings and the loudness of it, being that they transported themselves in the center of busy traffic. The first thing Anne, however, does to be certain that she's truly returned home is check her phone for service, which apparently had a 5G network. What is this, a Verizon commercial? Another small detail is of the wallpaper of both Anne and Sprig, and like what was confirmed in the season 2 finale, Anne clearly thinks very highly of him. And sorry for just now mentioning this, but it's possible that the floating head apparition of Sprig during that hunting episode was actually of Anne's powers in the works due to her subconscious usually on Sprig's safety. They all soon decide to walk back to Anne's neighborhood in order to of course make it back to her house for the first time in 5 months, as confirmed by her mother once they arrive inside. Which may mean that Anne was trapped in Amphibia since the very beginning of the school semester, since Wartwood did celebrate a Halloween-like day. There's supposed to be a Christmas special coming up soon, and you can visibly see colorful patterned lights in the background behind Anne. Then again, they could have already had Christmas celebrations since 5 months from August is January technically, and these are probably just neighbors too lazy to take down their decorations. Dear Lord, I'm overanalyzing again, aren't I? Another thing in the background to notice is Furby, I mean Frobo within Anne's backpack, someone who will most likely be given an upgrade possibly sometime in the near future with the help of other friends. Friends that may ask of Marcy and or Sasha's whereabouts, ending in Anne probably having to confess to them the truth, leading them to soon help Polly. And one last subtle object in the background just outside of the Boon Choi's house is a basketball hoop right above the garage, a reference to when Anne mentioned and showed her skills in basketball. Anne prepares to reveal herself to her family in the calmest way she knows how, and even plans ahead to hide the planters in case someone might faint. Which, by the way, actually happens. But this not only exposes the planters from hiding, but this also exposes the Boonjoys. Did they seriously toss a banana peel inside of a recycling bin? I will find that person. Okay, so since Anne's original plan of easing her parents into explaining everything that transpired during those several months clearly didn't work, she's forced to use diagrams and condense everything down without spoiling the many tragedies she also experienced while there. It was wonderful how Anne easily is able to talk around the fact that Marcy is severely injured, Sasha is still stuck on Amphibia, and the King Andreas plans on conquering the planet. However, it was oddly strange to not see either of the parents question of the whereabouts of Marcy or Sasha throughout the entirety of the episode. I guess they were so ecstatic about the return of their very own daughter that they never thought to mention asking about her friends. But one thing's for certain is that their parents will more than likely be wondering where their daughters are once they see Anne reappear in the city. And so, after Anne finally summarizes her traumatic encounters on Amphibia, she convinces them to allow the planters to stay with them, especially after them overhearing the hospitality given to Anne when she too first arrived into another world alien to her. There's soon a montage of Anne's mother consistently overseeing Anne 24/7, to which I don't blame her for, and the planters messing around with their new surroundings. During the montage, I kid you not, there is also a scene of Anne doogling search results on how to take down a King Newt. Just wow. I mean, what kind of results do you think you're actually gonna find, Anne? Also, another small thing during this moment is when the song sounds like it's saying purge the history, but I may be mishearing it. Let me know if I'm wrong. Anyways, they soon have a family meeting about boundaries, which soon turns into Anne asking to join her parents and going to the market with them, as long as she can bring the planters along. To which they immediately disapproved until they began to realize just how much more mature and thoughtful she had become over time. I mean, she literally drew a picture talking about how much she despised responsibility, and how aware she was of keeping the planters' identities a secret, which, by the way, are indeed the same disguises teased to us from the sneak peek after the season 2 finale. So basically, they wear these same uniforms in multiple episodes in an effort to avoid being seen, since a bunch of yellow bright uniforms clearly would have just given away their positions. Plus, I guess this does confirm Anne's favorite color. But of course, despite their hard work, there's always something that tries to get in their way, which ended up being one of Andrus's killer robot forces sent from Amphibia. With Andrus's castle remaining afloat after the events of True Colors, and the king being capable of tracking down Anne's location based off of the Calamity Power's energy signature. Perhaps things will be different for both Marcy and Sasha especially, due to them both having their powers drained out from them at their very own temples. Which will mean that whenever Sasha and Grime escape the castle in a future episode, they can still somehow more than likely remain incognito. Now, there's also confirmation that Andrus is indeed continuing his plans and conquering different worlds, starting off with Earth, of course, because what villain doesn't want to screw with Earth? Ooh, this planet is filled with such weaklings and disgusting, wasteful, air-breathing vermin. Like, okay, then why even waste your time conquering us? How dare you question my methods? As for Marcy, she can be seen for a few moments being pumped with what sounds to be artificial heart pumps during her healing process, while having what seems to be black veins surrounding the area she was once stabbed. But going back to Earth, the planters and Boon Choys finally arrive at the market and happily walk around. That is, until they discover that they're being followed by none other than the robot assigned to assassinate Anne. And so, in order to not give off too much attention and so her parents don't become alarmed, Anne blasts rock music during the middle of their heated battle chase, which leads to them hiding inside of a freezer, and since frogs are cold-blooded, they turn to ice and are soon useless. However, not completely, because when they try to help, the robot turns its attention to them, soon awakening Anne's Super Saiyan Blue Calamity powers. So it's obviously triggered during her defense for the ones she cares for the most. Because even when she herself was in direct danger, her powers still ceased to appear even a little. One thing to mention, however, is that Anne's powers probably function similarly to how Midoriya from My Hero Academia's works, where instead of placing all of her might into all parts of her body, she needs to constrain just how much strength she places into her hits, or else all of her energy will drain a lot much easier, as well as limit her abilities of moving certain limbs after battle.
Now can someone please open this door for me? I'm trying to move my arms and nothing's happening.
Another small point that Anne brings up after her fight is how using the powers felt bad, as if it's possible that the Calamity powers itself given weren't exactly created for good, which makes perfect sense. But in the end, I believe that she'll discover that even though the powers she was given weren't intended for being used for good, it's still her gift and that she still has a choice to use it for the greater good. In the end, the family head back home in order to enjoy more noodles, all while the robot remains intact despite its severe injuries, and even slightly mentions potentially upgrading for the next encounter. I cannot wait for more Amphibia, and I know I keep saying that, but the hype is real. This definitely is my top 3 by far, and I even love the new outro they gave for this show. A+ for absolutely great. So yeah, this was the premiere of this season, and I can tell that they were still holding back a lot of things that's gonna happen potentially within the season. But at least they didn't begin with a 2-parter premiere, because I prefer it when specials are full 30 minutes. Heck, I mean, maybe the finale this time will be an hour. Anyways, as usual, this has been your boy, The Next Big Thing. Thank you all for supporting this channel again. It's been very difficult to keep going, honestly, I'm not gonna lie to you. But thank you all so far this year. It's at least better than last year, and I will catch you guys all in the next one.